Kronology. What I think we need to do for this chronology, we need to change it up a bit. We need to have Luke record the jingle on whatever product it is. So if it is like a drum machine, you can have like the voice of chronology and
give him a bit more work.
See what they all sound like.
Yeah, because I'm not that busy actually. So it's probably,
busy, just wafting
anyway,
down to Radio 1.
What have you got for us this week?
We have the PA80.
Great.
So this was the actually first PA keyboard, and so following the launch of the i3 in 1993, as we just heard in the quiz, KORG changed the way musicians thought about arranging keyboards forever, because it brought it into a slightly different domain basically. So until then, these types of auto accompaniment keyboards had been used almost exclusively by amateur players at home, and they would not even been considered by pros really, or studio musicians. But that changed with the i3. So the remainder of the 90s saw KORG refine the i-series concept with an evolution of that range. Some of those other models we heard, different sizes, became more powerful. But the dawn of a new century marked a new product line for KORG, and that was the professional arranger, or PA category. So the concept of this range was to fuse the professional approach of the groundbreaking products like the i3 with easy to use, approachable nature of home keyboards. So that was really the kind of ethos behind it, with the added convenience of speakers built in as well. So you can kind of just plug it in, off you go. So the first ever product was the Pa80. So just like the i3 before it, the Pa80 used current cutting edge technology from the synthesizer division. And this time it was the HI synthesis from the Triton, which we've heard about in different chronology. So a lot of the sound kind of palette came from the Triton. So it gave the Pa80 a fresh and professional palette of sounds, and it instantly made people sit up and take notice, and made it sound different from other arranger kind of keyboards.
Just on that note as well, we talked before about, I used to have this Yamaha little keyboard or whatever. I often find that your home keyboards, in inverted commas, the amateur keyboards, as you just said then, if you picked up an old keyboard from 2002, you'd go, oh, it's rubbish, doesn't sound that good or whatever. But you picked up a synthesizer from 2002, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's classic for its time. And it's weird how you but with the arranger stuff, I think you're right. I do think it has a different our arranger keyboards still have that unique sound.
They definitely do. So the Pa80 introduced a new concept, and it was a multitasking operating system, which was called OPOS, Objective Portable Operating System. It basically meant that for the first time on these type of keyboards, you could multitask. So you could do two things at once.
That's right.
So for instance, you could simultaneously load a song whilst you're playing a style.
Okay.
So for the live guys, this is brilliant, because obviously it makes your show flow slicker and everything. So it had 61 keys with aftertouch, which is great. Two 22-watt speakers built in, and a backlit custom LCD screen. Had 32 meg of PCM ROM, which is, as we said, came partly from the Triton. So that gave you 660 sounds, including digital organ drawbells as well. And these sounds uniquely on these PA keyboards were fully editable. So it was a little bit like a synthesizer in that way, that you could really go deep and start tweaking your sounds, and you could sample into it. So you could sample into it and make your own sounds out of those samples. You had up to 304 factory styles, and they all had 8 style tracks, so 8 parts, if you like, for each style. 4 single touch settings, and 48 user styles. So even back then, you were able to make your own style from scratch if you wanted, or edit the current ones. So there were 4 variations: 2 fills, intros and endings, a break, synchro start, stop, kind of what you'd expect from a keyboard like that, plus 4 assignable pads, which are really cool because they're basically loops which you can just touch the pad and it'll play either like a percussion loop, or it'll play a little loop harmonically, which will fit with the chords that you're playing on the keyboard. So they're really useful, and obviously they still live on today.
Yes, absolutely.
In our PA keyboards. The Pa80 saw another world first for KORG in the form of the XDS sequencer. So this was a little crossfader, basically. XDS stood for Crossfade Dual Sequencer. It's the first time a user could have 2 songs loaded at the same time, and again, this goes back to that kind of multitasking thing. And you could use the crossfader to seamlessly blend between the two. So again, for the live guys. This is brilliant.
Great
It's
idea.
still
that is.
available today as well.
Yeah, still used again today. That concept. So.
Does everything do that now? Oh, I say everything. Do like do the other
Well,
brands sort of have that
if it's
system
got
as
a
well?
PA, a professional arranger, so the 700, 1000 does it, the 4X is it, the 700 does
Wow,
it.
brilliant.
So it's kind of lived on, and it's really useful for those entertainer guys.
You've made me think.
What about?
Yeah, I'm just let me just check something.
So anyway, let's move on. So you had great effects in there, 4 stereo effects processors, and you could then choose from a choice of 90 different effects. Loads of connections on the back. You have left and right on jacks. 2 additional outputs, MIDI and out and through. PC to host. Remember those?
I do
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sockets.
Yeah.
Flash card slot. Floppy disk drive. And input jacks as well for your sampling. So that was left and right jacks. You had 3 pedals as well. You could have a damper pedal, an assignable pedal as a switch, and also the EC5, which is our pedal we do for controlling styles and different variations. And it also had, on top of all that, expansion options.
Right.
So you could expand it with flash ROM. You could put a 2 gig hard drive in it.
That sounds like a lot of space for 2000. A 2 gig drive was massive then, wasn't it?
Absolutely, especially back
To be
then.
fair, it still is now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, for
For that
You know,
kind of
if
data
it-
we're talking about. If you're talking about MIDI files.
Yeah,
and
if
stuff
it's
like that.
if it's my organ that I used to play, year 2000 is it? Year 2000.
Yeah.
It was a EL90 probably still.
Yeah.
How big's a floppy disk?
1.44
Meg.
meg, yeah.
And you could get 30 songs on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 gig.
So 2 gig is for the guy that's doing the heavy audio
Yeah,
work,
it's
basically.
3,000 songs, so it's mega
Wow.
at the time.
Yeah.
And the 700 doesn't have the cross sequence.
Oh, okay.
I was right. It just made me think.
You could also add a vocal harmonizer, which had a guitar input with dedicated effects and a video output that allowed you to use it as a karaoke machine. So incredibly powerful. It's interesting because it was like a kind of best of all KORG's current flagship technology at that
Yep.
time. So it was taken from the Triton, the I series, and even the Tonework guitar pedals.
Right, okay.
Shared some technology.
I mean,
in there,
even
so-
now, so you've got with the PA4X, obviously you've got the PA4X technology, which is amazing, but you've also got effects from Kronos in there. You've got Vox guitar effects in there. So even now, a lot of this still marries
Still
to
translates
today's
across,
product.
yeah.
So that's it. That's the PA80.
Yes,
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
2000.
Year 2000. Let's have a look.
The year 2000.
So cast your mind back to the year 2000. What were we all doing? It's 20 years old in the year 2000.
Can't believe it's that long ago.
That's really scary.
So,
Yeah.
the Y2K or the Millennium Bug was a computer
Oh,
flaw,
yeah.
a bug that may
Yeah.
have caused problems. Remember the adverts for
Yeah.
it?
It was really
With scary music and like all that.
One day the clock will change.
Countries
Right.
such as Italy, Russia, South Korea had done little to prepare for the year 2000. They had no more technological problems than those countries like the US that spent millions of dollars to combat the problem. Due to the lack of results, many people dismissed the Millennium Bug as a hoax or even the end of the world cult. Because it was a big thing, wasn't it?
It was a massive thing at the time, yeah.
2000 was the wettest year on record in the UK.
Nice.
The best-selling UK single for the year.
Oh, no idea.
It was
No
Can We
idea.
Fix It? Bob the Builder.
Oh, wow, okay.
Still hear that daily.
It's this
with
year
my
is
little boy
falling
in
apart.
the car. The best-selling worldwide album. I remember this coming out. It was the number 1, The Beatles, with
Oh, yeah.
31
Oh,
million
yeah.
copies sold.
Wow.
The highest-grossing film was Mission Impossible 2.
Wow, okay.
Here's a random fact for you. You know the new Mission Impossible film?
Yeah.
You know it's the highest-grossing Mission Impossible film out of the series.
Really?
Is it really? That's the one with Henry Cavill. That's got Superman
with
in it,
his loaded arms where he tash grows.
Yeah.
Have you seen the
No, I haven't
gif?
actually seen the film yet.
So when he did the film, they had the whole CGI Superman thing where he had a beard and he had to shave it off.
Yeah.
He didn't shave it off, and then there's one bit in the film. If you just type in loaded Henry Cavill loaded guns mustache, there's a clip where he's got a tash. But as he walks towards Tom Cruise, he's like flexing his fist like this,
Yes, yes.
and his tash grows.
no way.
Yeah, because of the cut in the film. It's really funny. And when he cocks his arm like that, his tash grows.
Yeah,
It's
but his
really
arms are so
funny.
big.
They must
that's
have done that on
probably-
purpose.
That's
He's
lovely.
cast- what about The Witcher, eh? He's cast as The Witcher
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the Netflix series.
It's
Anyway,
going to be wicked.
1st of January Millennium celebrations take place throughout the UK. The Millennium Dome is officially opened by Her Royal Majesty the Queen.
Good opening.
23rd of February, Sir Stanley Matthews dies at the age of 85. Legend with Stoke, Blackpool and England, of course.
He was a legend.
The Tate Modern is open to the public, 12th of May. 20th of May, Chelsea beat Aston Villa 1-0 to win the last FA Cup final at Wembley before the old stadium is rebuilt. Yeah. And I can't for the life of me remember who it was. It's a pub quiz question. Who scored?
Oh.
It was, it wasn't someone, it was like a, I can't remember.
No, I can't.
Answers on a postcard.
Yeah. 10th of June. The much anticipated Millennium Bridge opens to the public, but it has to close. Remember why it closed?
It was like swaying,
because it was essentially a rope bridge, wasn't it, across the Thames?
It was an Indiana Jones bridge.
14th of July, this will take you back. The reality television game show Big Brother first aired in the UK. What a series that was.
Yeah. I'd use time travel if I could get rid of that.
But that one,
at the time, it was
Naughty Nick.
Yeah,
it was just unbelievable.
It was massive when it first came out.
20th of July, the production of the Ford Escort, one of Britain's most successful and iconic motoring nameplates, finishes after 32 years.
Finishes? Oh my word.
We need to bring that back, don't we?
Yeah.
4th of August.
The beige one, Mark II.
Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, celebrates her 100th birthday.
Good lad.
15th of September.
Lady.
Apologies. She is, in fact,
goodbye.
Yeah.
God bless the Queen Mother. 15th of September to the 1st of October, Great Britain competes at the Olympics in Sydney and wins 11 gold, 10 silver and 7 bronze, with rower Steve Redgrave winning his 5th consecutive gold medal.
I remember that one. Wow.
7th of October, Wembley Stadium closes after 77 years for a complete reconstruction that would see its seating capacity raised from 90,000 to 90,000 all seated. And it was set to reopen in 2003. But this was delayed numerous times with an eventual official opening ceremony held at the 2007 FA Cup final.
So it was closed for 7 years.
Yeah. Well, they did all the Millennium Stadium playoff finals and FA Cups and all that.
And now it's been desecrated with Spur.
16th of October. The BBC News main evening news programme moved to 10 p.m. Do you know, I don't remember. I always thought it was always 10 o'clock.
I remember that happening as well. And it's like, it made the news.
Yeah. The following year, ITV1 moved its news programme back to the same time slot and broadcasting direct competition. 16th of November, Michael Caine receives a knighthood from the Queen. Blow the bloody doors off. 20th of November. Tie-in, Judith Keppel becomes the first person to what, Andy?
Judith Keppel, I have no idea who that is.
Do you remember that? She was the first person to win £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
£1
Wow, so there we go. That's the year 2000.
Look at that. Very good.
So I think we'll have a little quick break and then we've just got downloads to do.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Let's do it.
See you in a minute.